Libby. Yeah.
And the cherry on the top, the thing that will make your cooking so much easier. Oh, actually, not cooking because we're making it raw. So anyway, guys, welcome to the video. I know we haven't been posting for a while, but life gets busy. We both started at university again, and we had to catch up. So today we're going to show you our brand new recipe, or actually, well, it's just a little bit updated. Especially for those of you guys that don't have access to freshly ground carcass, or don't have a grinder to grind it on your own. This recipe will make it so much easier, because I know this is stopping some people from preparing raw food themselves. So today we're going to use the bone meal powder, which will substitute the bone that you normally get ground in the carcass. And as we know, cats need about 10% of bone content in their food. So let's get to it. Highly suggest you all invest in a slightly bigger bucket. We used to work with like a normal kitchen bowl, and it made like stirring and mixing everything properly so difficult. So this is only like £3.50 in Rokers, our local pet shop, and I highly recommend it. So much easier. You can just go in and mix the whole thing nicely. Not with a knife. Use probably like a spoon or something, big spoon. Anyway, so what I'm going to do first, we're going to cut our protein. We're using the pork shoulder today, steaks without any bone, and Bluebell likes squares, 1 by 1 centimeter. No, I'm joking. You just cut them in small pieces, and they will be fine. I usually just go straight on like this, cut them into like strips, and then go across to make small cubes. So actually, we will end up with small cubes because Bluebell doesn't like chewing.
Yeah.
Hashtag spoiled.
He doesn't like a whole bone, so if your cat would eat like a full chicken wing, you're lucky, because Blue will want.
Yeah, he's not gonna bite through it. Yeah.
Pixie would.
So you can start by throwing all of the protein inside of the bowl, because we already know how much is in there. So each pack is 700 grams, 3 packs. Quick maths, we've got 2.1 kilo of the pork shoulder. The recipe that we're using today, you can find all of the ingredients and exact measurements in the description below, because the camera operator will put them there, because I don't do it, Mon does it. Thank you, Mon. As you'd expect, your cats will assure the quality of the ingredients going inside. Be careful with a knife though, because they put the noses everywhere. As you can see, Pixie's testing everything. She's carrying out a risk assurance and quality control of the ingredients at the moment.
What formula does she use?
Yeah, so she used the half-angle identity for the simple trigonometry.
You sure that's that?
Sure, yeah. Yeah. I'm just finishing cutting the last box of the pork shoulder, and this is probably the most time-consuming part of the whole recipe. Everything else is just super easy. Barely an inconvenience. And that line was borrowed from Ryan from the pitch meeting. Shout out to him, because he makes great videos. I definitely spend way too much time watching it, and now I just can't stop saying it.
Pixie, what have you stolen from Papa? Do you not think this piece is a little big? No? Are you saying it's perfect?
Papa definitely appreciates Pixie eating that on the freshly mopped floor. Thank you. I guess just mop it again.
That's exactly what you will do.
She's gonna eat it.
Yeah, she ate the whole thing.
Oh my! Is it gone?
Yeah.
No way! Oh my god.
As you can see, cats enjoy raw meat. Very much so.
Pixie!
Hey, Pixie!
You little monster!
Cutie! So, I think we've come to the conclusion that you don't have to worry about the size of the cubes too much, unless one of your cats is very spoiled.
Yeah, unless it's Bluebell. He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't chew. You just kind of have to cut it for him. So I've just finished cutting all of the pork shoulder. We're now going to add the Poultry Hearts. We buy them in a frozen pack of 1 kilo from our local pet shop. And we don't have to worry about measuring them out, because we need exactly 1 kilo in the recipe. How convenient. I know. Thank you, the camera lady, today for creating such a super easy recipe. I was definitely tempted to say that line again, but I'm not gonna. The hearts are in, by the way. And as you can see, the whole bowl is actually like halfway full. So you do need some space for that. So please go and buy the bowl. And
not sponsored.
not sponsored.
For gravy, we're using poultry liver. You can use any liver, but poultry liver is the least specific in taste, apparently. Haven't tried it, but...
It definitely sounds like somebody just went and just tried them all one by one. Oh, yeah, this was gonna taste better to my cat.
This is definitely a good one to start with because beef or lamb liver will be more specific and strong in taste. Then we've got some sardines, as always, in tomato sauce. Just make sure it doesn't have any spices in it, and we also make sure that it doesn't have too much salt in it as well.
And oil.
And then just normal chicken eggs.
Okay, time for gravy. And conveniently, the measurements that Mon created are exactly 2 packs. If you're using different size, these are 120 grams, and I just used 2 packs. Forgot to mention, the recipe also considers that your cat will obviously be super needy and will want to have some fishies. So feel free to treat them a little bit because it's already calculated into the recipe using very special formula, a little bit per cat.
Did someone say freshly mopped floor?
She has a placemat, but obviously that's not good enough.
What's next?
Oh, actually, funny you asked. That's a very good question. So next we have the poultry liver. So in this recipe we're using 350 grams. And this one, much like the hearts, we buy frozen from the local shop. So you can just buy a pack of 1 kilo and then keep it in a freezer for your future batches. Also, I just did something super silly and I didn't reset the scale. So don't be like me and reset the scale before you start putting the stuff in it. Okay, so once your scale is reset, you're going to measure 350 grams. Don't worry, it's gonna fit. It's been tested before. I know it doesn't look like it. I've done it before. For some reason it looks like the volume is way bigger than usual, and I might just have to...
bigger pieces.
Yeah, I might just have to blend it twice, but that's no problem. As long as you mix everything together, and it doesn't even have to be mixed that well, because you make a batch every 2 weeks. As long as they eat the right amount over 2 weeks, and you know it's ever so slightly off, it's okay. So if your blender dish isn't big enough, much like mine, you just blend it twice into 2 batches. So in the first one, I'm gonna use 2 of the 4 eggs that we need to use all together to give it some better consistency. So this is the liver that was just sticking out of the container. So I'm just gonna blend it in a second batch. Add 2 of 4 eggs. And then we're going to measure out the bone meal. So, learning from the previous experiences, put the container on the scale and zero it. Then proceed to add the contents that you want to measure out, because that's how scales work. Duh. For this recipe, we're going to use 39 grams.
49.
49, that's exactly what I said. I got confused because last time we used 45. I think we had slightly different measurements. Anyway, 49 grams. Like with this one, you have to be really specific and measure it quite accurately, because even small changes will make big difference in the ratio. Don't cover the number. I feel like a drug dealer. I'm sure that's how they feel when they measure everything. 38.
With white powder. Okay,
so we're 48. Be really careful, just a touch.
Uh-oh.
How did this happen? Okay, I'll take some out. More out. There we go, 49. I mean, there's other ways you can measure it, but this is how we do it. So 49 grams of this. Okay, so once the second part is blended, oh, I need to blend a little bit more. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a mix because I didn't defrost the liver early enough, so I'm dealing with a frozen one. But that's okay. You can learn from my mistakes. That's why I do it, to bring you the finalized recipe with all the hints and tips. So tip number whatever, defrost your liver. Now that this is blended properly, unlike the first time, we just add it to the entire recipe. And then all there is left to do is give it a really good mix and put it in the boxes. Super easy.
Freshly milk flour.
Yeah, I think Mon did a little bit better with the previous video. So if you haven't seen it already, make sure to go check it out. This is the recipe where we use the actual carcass, and you can decide for yourself who's done it better. The recipe still holds and works, but I think Mon did it way smoother than me. Mine's kind of like, you know, manhandling everything. It works because it's me actually who does the food at the house.
Yeah, you make the cat's food. That's so true.
And most of the normal food, like human food. And that's okay. I love cooking, so actually cooking, not like making. I love both really, because cats.
And I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
Hello. Who's very tired but just sits here watching what's going on. Mummy, everybody's in the kitchen. I can't possibly leave.
And for the power of editing, we have a clean kitchen and all of the food is already in the containers. So to sum up guys, this food will last probably for about 2 weeks. So last time we made it was 17 days ago, so just over 2 weeks ago. The key ingredient today to unlocking this super simple recipe, the bone meal powder, and not gonna lie, if you follow the link in the description, it's gonna help us out a little bit. But we genuinely use it ourselves. It's not sponsored or anything. I wish. Maybe one day. And yeah, it just makes it super easy. The containers that we used are from the Natural Instinct because we hate waste. So we kept them because we knew we were going to be making our own food. And they just fit perfectly in our freezer. Obviously any containers that you have are fine. And that's all we have for you today. As a bonus content, if you had enough to do with the meat and all that and you just want to forget it, we have a meat recipe for red curry that we made today. Some human food for difference, because we tend to spend more time cooking for our cats than ourselves and looking after them more than ourselves. I'll get the...
You actually.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'll get the camera lady, which is doing a fantastic job today, to put the recipe in the description because it's fantastic. You guys...
a vegetarian.
And he's vegetarian. That's right. You guys have a fantastic day and we'll see you in the next video. Hope you liked it. Take care. And go get yourself a bowl because it's super good. Super good. Yes. I'm just gonna go and mop the floor now. Hello.